He is a former U.S. Marine. You've seen him on the show before. He's been on our radio show for quite some time now. And John Reeves specializes in helping those who have served our country, the brave soldiers of our military. He helps them to find homes. If you're in a home and you've served in our military, he can help you sell that house. I haven't personally served, but I salute those who did. And I do know this, I would not recommend any of you to anyone else besides John Reeves. So it's always great to have him here in studio. John, welcome.
Good. Thanks for having me.
So with the VA, you know, there's of all the opportunities we talk about buying real estate, and we got your website here behind us at reefpointrealty.com if anyone wants to find you online. But of all the opportunities that exist in the first-time home buyer market, I'm typically speaking to conventional FHA.
Sure.
But the opportunity gets significantly better when you have served. So
Absolutely.
Explain that generally speaking. I know we got our top 4 reasons here, but explain generally.
Well, you know, someone who served or does serve in our nation's military has the opportunity of a VA loan. And San Diego happens to be a very favorable place for a VA loan because the zero down limit here is $546,250, which just came up. It just raised. So you can go buy a house, no down payment, up to $546,000.
Now, $546,250. I hear you right?
Yep, that's correct.
Good deal. You can go up to that amount, 100% financing.
100%.
That payment, I promise you, is going to be similar to what you're paying in rent in many cases.
Absolutely.
Now, what happens if they go up to $600,000, $650,000, $700,000?
So let's say, just for the sake of this discussion, they go up to $646,000,
okay,
which is $100,000 more. You basically have to put down 25% of the difference from what the limit is in San Diego to what you're actually buying for. So if you go $646,000, difference there is $100,000. $25,000 is what you have to put down. $25,000 on a $646,000 mortgage. It's phenomenal. It'd be $120,000, $130,000 if you were going conventional. So it's
you know, one of these days we're going to have to actually show the numbers rather than just talk around them.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
encourage people to visit you online. We'll do them for you on a personal basis, but the numbers tend to be astonishing when you compare that VA payment to a rental payment. But there's a lot of really distinct advantages if you've served. Now, you've served as well.
Absolutely.
Real quick. So I want people to truly understand that about you and your team, and then we'll get into your advice on VA. So please, if you could describe your team.
So our whole team is comprised of either spouses of active duty military, or they have to be a veteran to serve on our team as an agent, meaning that they've gone through the process of owning a home, they've served in the military. Their whole mantra is to serve those who serve.
Yep.
And we feel very strongly about that.
Got it. I mean, if you've served, who else would you want to work with? But so the advice. What are the top 4 things you brought in here today? I want to pull those up, go through them one by one. I mean, it just makes sense that people truly understand what this stuff means, because I think it's very easy to go online, read about it, go on YouTube. You know, YouTube's the second largest search engine optimization now versus Google.
Well, you can learn anything on YouTube. I mean,
yeah, no kidding. So, I mean, so you have all these different websites people can go to. Everybody claims to be an expert. But break down what these 4 points are. And, you know, if I've served in the military and I'm out there renting right now, what does it mean?
I mean, the first thing is no money down. There's no down payment. That means if you go to rent a home in San Diego, you've got to usually put down first month's rent, last month's rent, and then your first, and pay for your normal rent anyway. So that's 3 months worth of payments. In San Diego, with a VA loan, you can buy for zero down. So you could literally get into a house for no money out of your pocket.
And I don't want to talk you out of the real estate environment if you haven't served. If you do FHA financing, you need 3.5% down. Conventional financing 5%, so you still don't even need that much down. But with VA specifically, no money down, so you don't have to even put any of your skin in the game. So that's kind of the obvious one. What else do we got?
Well, you know, you have no PMI, so where everyone else has to pay, if you don't put 20% down, you've got to pay mortgage insurance. VA, there's no mortgage insurance. You pay a one-time fee up front, the VA funding fee, but you can wrap it right into the loan, so it doesn't really, you don't see it every month like a normal borrower would who's not putting 20% down.
Right, so let's make sure that makes perfect sense here.
Yeah.
If you were doing FHA, you were doing conventional, you haven't served in the military, what that essentially means is it's basically, there's a reason it's there. You know, the banks have to have it to allow you to put less money down. It protects the bank. So there's a reason that mortgage insurance is there. But if you're a highly credited borrower, you make your payments, it really is a complete waste of money. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So with VA, you get to waive that.
Yeah, it's
the
waived.
amount that's rolled up front goes into the loan, so you finance it in. So it's kind of another one of those.
The other thing is, if you have any VA disability, 10% even, any type of disability from serving, it's completely waived anyway. So almost everyone who gets out of the military.
What's completely waived?
The VA funding fee.
So even the amount that gets funded on top of the loan, if you have a disability, gets waived?
Any type of disability. So
I did not know that.
A couple of my friends have chronic migraine headaches, so they have a 10% disability. They have no VA funding fee. So,
yeah. What's our last piece of advice here?
Well, it's subsidized payment. You're already getting paid. If you're in the military, the government's giving you money to pay for housing. So it's non-taxed, and you can use that to buy a house. So you're subsidized for your payment. And lastly, number 4, it's usually cheaper with a VA loan to buy a house than it is to rent. So, yeah. I mean, it's a win on all fronts.
Yeah, it's really important. I hope people will reach out if you want to see these numbers. And next time we're on, let's go ahead and bring some of these numbers so people can actually see a tangible value in what that mortgage payment versus rent is. But I'll tell you what, if you go to reefpointrealty.com or you go to craigsewing.com, we can create these spreadsheets for you.
Absolutely.
And here's what you need to know about a mortgage payment. So you have a rental payment. You're stroking a check every month. You're paying your landlord's mortgage. He has a mortgage. You're paying down that principal.
For him.
Yeah, for him. And he owns the house. So, there's restrictions on the things that you can do there. If you own your own piece of real estate, every payment you make chips away at that principal. And if the house goes up in value, let's use your $620,000 purchase price example. If that thing went up 5% a year, you're talking about $30,000 a year this way, principal going this way.
Yeah.
So you're gaining equity, and that's where real financial stability can come along. Plus, you get to write off the interest, you get to write off the real estate taxes. I think that's where the numbers just really get astonishing, to where we call it the net payment. When you factor out your principal that's being paid down, the tax advantages that you get, you're left with that net payment. That's where it looks really good, VA, because you don't have the mortgage insurance.
Right.
Interest rates are just as low.
Craig, picture this. If every duty station a military member went to, if they bought a house and sold it, you're buying with someone else's money because the VA loan, there's no money out of pocket. How much money could you accrue over a lifetime doing that again and again and again?
Yeah.
It begins to really scale out. Like you said, the net payment is
Now, what
incredible.
about somebody who's served and still doesn't know what their future holds? They might be transferred, deployed. I mean, all of those things. They don't want to uproot their family.
Sure.
So, I mean, how do you address that?
The best thing to do is what we offer is property management. All our buyers, we have a property management team that comes in when they do move away in 3 to 5 years, and we manage the property for them. We make sure that it's always got a tenant, it's always filled, and that they're making money. So very important. Our VA service is all based around the military member. We want to make sure when you move away, we're going to cover you there as well. We've got the management team right there.
Yeah, you got the whole team. Let's go ahead and. I've been dying to play with the screen. They don't let me play with the screen much. So, I mean, you have some military clients, but I think what's cool is your team. Hopefully this pulls up for us here. So, I mean, here's some example of people that you've helped buy. Is this right? What are we looking at here, John?
Well, this is just talking about, our property management, what we do for our buyers, sellers.
Yep. Like that mortgage mess, mortgage fraud. Yeah, you got to protect from things like that.
Why don't you go click on military clients again? It talks about our property management in there. Buying versus renting, property management.
There you go.
One of the vows we make is if we're going to help you buy a house and you move away, we're so guaranteed that you are going to get that place rented out that we will carry your mortgage for you if you can't get it rented out. We're that confident in our ability to manage your property.
Let me ask you this: what about inventory? You have low inventory right now. I'm sure we're going to hear some of our other experts talk about that. You're competing against a cash buyer. Does the low inventory make it tougher to get that VA offer accepted?
When we go and put offers in for our VA buyers, it's all about posturing them for success. We do all kinds of creative things that ensure that our buyer is looked at and is more competitive than the other buyers out there. We do letters, we do executive summaries, we'll do embedded video of them talking about the house. We do all kinds of things that make them stand out.
And here's your team.
And there it is.
Yeah.
This guy right here, 1,000 transactions, retired submariner in the Navy. Active duty Navy right here.
We just got big. Only I get to touch a screen.
Oh,
I know you're bigger than me. Just keep your hands off the screen.
Prior Marine right here. All our team here is prior Marine officer.
Very cool.
2 Marine spouses right there. So
there you are, right in the middle of it all. So there's John. Outstanding. I don't know. we talk about a lot of stuff on this show, whether it's the radio show or the TV show, and I can't think of too many things that make me more proud than helping people who've served our military. You know, I've done the Tough Mudder. I love the Wounded Warrior charity, and we've become great friends through all this. I appreciate all that you do. Let's get to an email question. We haven't done that yet. We get questions all week long through craigsewing.com, and I want to make sure we get to some of these. Let's go ahead and take a look at one. So, Craig, I'm looking to sell some investment properties. Can you explain how a 1031 exchange works? Now, we just actually had Don Meredith in here. He can help you with moving some of those funds. But a 1031 exchange, you have a small window of opportunity where you can identify a new investment property, not have to skip the capital gains tax. If you're ever selling an investment property, never just go do that, or line up a realtor that doesn't understand the process of a 1031 that's going to help you save a ton of money on taxes. I think you mentioned you've done one of these fairly recently. Is that right?
Yes, we have. We've done a few 1031 exchanges. Great. That's another great way if you're in the military. The good thing about a military buyer is if you move away, you have 10 years to sell it, vice 5, you know. But yeah, we do 1031s quite frequently. Great. One of the things that our government does get well, VA and the 1031 exchange.
The list doesn't go much further than there. I don't know. Well, this isn't a political show. But, all right, man. Great information. Thank you so much.
You bet.